Where is the witness?
For our next witness, Your Honor, may...
Sessions resume.
Thank you, Your Honor. For our next witness, may we request that Attorney Judd Roy be recognized, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Witness, please stand.
Recognized.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this impeachment proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor.
So help you God.
May it please the court. Good afternoon, Your Honors. We are presenting Mr. Benz Lim to establish the circumstances surrounding the acceptance of the Columns property indicated in the SALN of the Chief Justice. The issue we wish to address with his testimony is to justify why the inclusion in the SALN is on a different date, whereas the titling of the property occurred much earlier. We offer the testimony of Mr. Benz Lim to show that there were just and valid reasons warranting the non-inclusion of the Columns property in the SALN of the Chief Justice. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
How tall can you please state your personal circumstances, meaning to say, what do you do, are you married, and so forth?
My name is Benz John Ignacio Lim. I'm 25 years old, single. I'm currently employed in Ayala Property Management Corporation. And as a property and I was assigned as a property manager in the Columns Ayala Avenue Condominium Corporation.
Thank you, Mr.
Your
Lim.
residence?
I live in Tondo, Manila, Your Honor.
All right.
Mr. Lim, you mentioned that you were employed by the, what was the company, Ayala?
Ayala Property Management Corporation,
Yes.
sir.
Can you tell us what is the nature of the company's business?
Ayala Property Management Corporation, sir, is a property management company which is under Ayala Land Inc. Is a subsidy of Ayala Land Inc.
Can you please tell the court in what capacity you are employed or connected with this company?
I was hired, sir, as a property manager, and I was assigned to the Columns Ayala Avenue Condominium Corporation.
All right. Now, when you say you were hired as a property manager, what do you mean? What does a property manager do?
A property manager, sir, is the one who manages the common area of the property itself.
All right. Now, you informed us that you were assigned to
The Columns Ayala Avenue Condominium
the
Corporation.
Columns
sir.
Ayala. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is this Columns, this is a condominium? I
Yes, sir.
take it?
It is already under Condominium Corporation.
All right. It is a condominium. And is it owned by the company you represent?
No, Your Honor, it was already under the Condominium Corporation, the association itself.
Wait a minute. Anyway, you were assigned to this company, to this Columns project.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is it specifically that you do for the Columns condominium?
I am the one, sir, who manages all the common area of the property, sir.
Would I be correct in describing you as the general manager or the building administrator?
Building administrator, Your Honor.
As building administrator, Mr. Lim, what are your duties in relation to the residents of the Columns condominium?
Basically, sir, we are the one who handles the common area of the building itself. Now, we also entertain complaints from the unit owners. Yes, sir.
I understand. Now, when you receive complaints from the unit owners, what do you normally do with these complaints?
It depends on the complaint, sir. Basically, if the complaint is based on the common area, for example, for the cleanliness or any equipment of the building, we handle it.
Can you tell us, Mr. Lim, if you perform any financial functions in the discharge of your job or work as building administrator?
Objection, Your Honor. Question is leading, and the witness has already stated that his only duties are to manage the common areas and act on
May I
complaints.
answer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, please, Mr. Lim. Tell us if there are any financial functions related to your work.
Actually, sir, the only financial functions is basically we are under association already. So under association, we bill condominium dues.
I'm sorry?
We bill condominium dues, sir.
You bill condominium dues?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean, Mr. Lim?
The association dues itself, sir, of the building itself.
What do you do with these association dues?
That funds, sir, are the ones who we use for the managing of the whole common areas of the buildings.
So, do I understand it that the association dues is a fund which you use for the upkeep? Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's
All
correct.
right. Now, where is this where are these association dues kept?
Basically, sir, this is under, we have, the association has its own bank. We build it, then we collect it.
When you say we bill it, what do you mean we bill it? We bill what? Mr.
We
Witness?
build the association dues, sir. Then if the unit owners paid already, then we put in the bank of the association.
You bill the individual condominium owners,
Yes, Your Honor.
and then you put that in the bank account
Yes, Your Honor.
to be used for the management of the common areas,
Yes, Your Honor.
like disposal of garbage, janitorial services, electrical repairs, repairs for other facilities of the building.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Now, Mr. Lim, thank you, Your Honor. Are you responsible? Who is responsible? I'm sorry. Who is responsible for billing the homeowners or the residents?
The property manager itself, sir.
Are you referring to yourself?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, if a resident refuses to pay, what do you do?
Normally, sir, on the condominium laws, we send billing. Then, if we didn't receive any payments yet, we send demand letters.
A demand letter. Who is the signatory of your demand letters when you send them, Mr. Lim?
Basically, the property manager itself, sir.
Are there any other demand letters sent aside from those signed by the
Counsel,
property
just a
manager?
minute.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the relevance of all of this line of questioning? When
Your
you
Honor.
presented this witness
I'm coming to that, Your Honor.
explain why it was the condominium was bought on a prior year only to be reflected in in a subsequent year.
Yes, Your Honor. The point that will be shown is that there were some issues that precluded.
All right, go to the point.
Yes. I would like to show you a document. Do you recognize this document? May we please make of record that I'm sending a document to the witness, and I invite counsel for the prosecution to inspect the same.
There's no basis for the document, Your Honor, without introduction.
Your Honor, he just said that they prepared demand letters. Do you recognize the document, Mr. Lim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell us what this document is, if you know?
This is the final demand letter, sir, sent by our corporate secretary of the association To
Final demand to whom?
to Mrs. Corona, sir.
Who is Mrs. Corona? What's her name?
To Mrs. Christina Corona, Your Honor.
Was she occupying the property?
No, Your Honor.
Who was occupying the property?
None, Your Honor.
Nobody.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, proceed.
Your Honor, may I request that the document identified by the counsel be adopted, by the witness and the counsel, be adopted as defense exhibit number 195.
You are marking that document as exhibit.
Yes, Your Honor, as exhibit number 195.
Mark it accordingly.
All right, can you tell us, please, Mr. Witness, who executed this document? Who signed it?
Our corporate secretary of the association, sir.
May we know the name of the corporate secretary?
Attorney Joselito John G. Blando.
Yes. Did he prepare this document on his own initiative?
No, Your Honor. This was approved by the board. Basically, when we have a board meeting, the board approved that we send final demand letters using our corporate secretary to the delinquent owners for them to pay the association dues.
Going back to the document, Mr. Witness, do you confirm that what I see on this document, which says, under these circumstances, final demand is hereby made upon you to pay your outstanding obligation to our client in the amount stated above within 10 days from your receipt of this letter? Do you confirm those words on the document?
No, Your Honor. Basically, this was issued by our corporate secretary.
Do these words appear on the document, Mr. Lim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lim, can you tell us what is the amount of the that is being demanded by the condominium corporation in relation to this letter?
112,213 pesos, 213 and 79 cents.
112,000.
112,213.79.
Yes. Was this amount paid, Mr. Lim?
Only the principal amount, Your Honor.
I'm showing you photocopies of receipts apparently issued by the Columns Ayala Avenue Condominium Corporation, and I invite the counsel for the prosecution to inspect the same. Right. Your Honor, we are showing the witness one sheet of paper which contains the photocopies of two official receipts. The upper half, can you please tell us, can you please explain to us what is this upper half of the document, of the paper?
The upper half, Your Honor, is the original receipt, number 24141,
Yes.
paid by Mrs. Christina Corona, Unit 31B, Tower 1,
For how much? How much?
amounting to 78,162.36.
Yes.
All right. May we request that the upper half of the document be marked as Defense Exhibit 195A, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Can,
Mark it accordingly.
thank you. Thank you. Your Honor, now, Mr. Witness, can you please explain to us what appears on the lower half of the document?
This is another payment, sir. Official receipt number 24142, paid by Mrs. Christina Corona, Unit 31B, Tower 1, amounting to 30,132 pesos.
May we request that the bottom half of the document be marked as Exhibit 195B?
Mark it accordingly. Are those two receipts bearing the same dates?
Yes, Your Honor.
They bear the same dates.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, just a manifestation. The documents presented were not originals. They appear to be photocopies of an original document that was not presented.
We concur, Your Honor. We will produce the originals as soon as we are able for the inspection of our
Proceed.
counsel. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Okay. Now, Mr. Lim, you said that in the first receipt, the amount paid was 78,162.26.
Yes, sir.
And then you said that in the second receipt, the amount paid was 30,132.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell us, Mr. Lim, what was the total payment made by Cristina Corona based on these two receipts?
Most approximately, sir, at 108,000.
108,000. 108,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, am I correct, Mr. Lim, that you mentioned earlier that your demand letter was for the amount of 112,000? Was that correct? Or
Yes.
so?
Yes, Your Honor.
I think the amount mentioned was
112,000. 213.79.
Yes. But these two receipts amount to only 108,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Am I correct, therefore, that there is a deficit of about 4,000 more or less?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, does Mrs. Corona owe the condominium corporation 4,000 pesos more or less after these payments?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon not approval of the waiving of interest and penalties.
What do you mean, waiving of the interest and penalties?
Basically, Your Honor, in the condominium laws, we put interest and penalties for delinquent members who not paying their delinquent due. They're not paying their delinquent dues, Your Honor.
And were there interests and penalties charged to Mrs. Corona?
Yes, Your Honor, for the 112,000.
For the 112,000 you mentioned earlier,
Yes, Your Honor, that is inclusive of interest and penalties.
your testimony is that it included penalties and interests.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you also testified that based on these receipts, she paid less than 112,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell us, please, Mr. Lim, what happened to the penalties and interests being claimed from Mrs. Corona? If you know?
Already answered, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, he answered the basis of the penalties.
Let him answer so that we can finish.
Mrs. Corona approached me and asked me if I can waive the interest and penalties. Most likely, Your Honor, the procedure is that the unit owner must write a letter to the board of directors to request to waive the interest and penalties.
Mr. Lim, may I ask you to stop there? You said she must write a letter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she write a letter?
Yes, Your Honor.
I am showing you a letter. Do you recognize
Wait a
it?
minute,
Your
Counsel.
Honor.
What has this line of questioning got to do with the reflection of this condominium?
Your Honor, the letter will contain precisely the reason for the delay in accepting the delivery. The witness is about to testify why there was an underpayment, and the reasons for that are contained in the letter.
In other words, the condominium unit was not yet delivered to the Coronas?
That is the question in this case, Your Honor, because the
What do you mean
title...
that? What do you mean the question?
The title was transferred early on, but there were, I think, in 2004 or 2005, but there were outstanding issues which the owner, or the registered owner, in this case, Mrs. Corona, could not settle with the condominium corporation. That is contained in the letter, Your Honor.
But if the title was already transferred to the Coronas, then formally they are the owners.
There was no acceptance, Your Honor.
But they've been billing them with juice already, and they paid.
If you will allow me to continue, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Honor, may I just make a manifestation before we proceed? The letter that was presented by the witness appears to be a photocopy again, in violation of the best evidence rule, and it appears to be a self-serving letter, Your Honor.
They have already promised to produce the the original. If they cannot produce it, then you make the proper motion at the proper time.
You submit, Your Honor.
At any rate, Your Honor, the witness will identify this as a photocopy. Do you recognize this photocopy, Mr. Lim?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is a photocopy of what, if you don't mind?
This is the letter of Mrs. Cristina Corona to the Board of Directors of the Columns Ayala Avenue Condominium Corporation, Your Honor.
What is the purpose of this letter, Mr. Lim?
Objection, Your Honor. Best evidence would be the letter.
All right, very well. Do you confirm, therefore, that the letter contains this paragraph? This is also to request for the waiver of penalties and interests incurred from commencement of payments, what is this? Which Mr. Ben Slim allowed, pending confirmation by the board members. In applying for this waiver, I would like the board of directors to be informed of the ordeals that I have gone through with this unit. When I first inspected my unit, I couldn't because the Columns administration had turned it into a bodega, storage place filled with debris from other units, dirty brooms, mops were on my kitchen counters. The tools, brooms, and mops were on my kitchen counters. The toilets were stinking. The kitchen sink was a mess. It is also disinfected now because I spent time, money to clean up their mess and to disinfect the kitchen counters. Further, this unit has had a history of various defects: undersized electrical wires, leaking roof, damaged floors, unfinished windows, jams, etc., etc. Do you confirm that that appears in the photocopy I'm showing you?
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Lim?
the same objection, whether or not it appears in the document will be borne by the document.
It's merely confirmatory, Your Honor.
Sustain.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, what did you do when you received this letter, Mr. Lim?
I forward this to the Board of Directors dated May of 2011 on our board meeting. Basically, the board approved the request to waive the interest and penalties.
What do you mean the board approved the request? What did that mean? How much was waived?
Basically, sir, it's amounting to 18,000 approximately.
So, let us go back. You testified that the demand was for 112,000 and some change.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you're telling me that they waived 18,000 and some change.
Yes, Your Honor.
That means that the only obligation to you must have been about 98,000? No, I'm sorry, 94,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Am
I
I
would like
correct?
to explain for that, Your Honor.
Could you please, Mr. Lim?
The payment that was paid by Mrs. Cristina Corona, dated April 6, 2011, which I explained it, this is from the third quarter of 2009 going to the first quarter of 2011. So, second quarter of 2011, basically the 112,000 that our corporate secretary of the association given the demand letter is that is only from third quarter of 2009 to first quarter of 2011, Your Honor. So basically, Mrs. Cristina Corona paid also the next billing, which is second quarter 2011, amounting to 15,000, which is not included for the interest and penalties. Because this is a due billing, this is only the updated billing.
Just a minute.
Yes, Your Honor.
The dispute is about the condition of the unit. Is this correct?
That is right, Your Honor. That is right,
I'm asking
Your
the
Honor.
witness.
I'm sorry.
Can you repeat the question, Your Honor?
The dispute between the developer and Mrs. Corona was about the condition of the unit she bought from the developer.
I don't have an idea for that, Your Honor.
Because the letter says about this dirty condition of the unit.
Yes, Your Honor, but basically the letter is forwarded to the Board of Directors, which is all...
I will put this question to you. The unit was bought by Mrs. Corona,
yes, Your Honor.
fully paid.
For that, I don't have an idea, Your Honor. This is for the developer
But it
concerned.
was already owned by her, so much so that association dues were being billed on her.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so the only question is her acceptance of the unit.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right? And yet, this was not included in the SALN of the Chief Justice.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right?
He would not know, Your
You
Honor.
did not consider that a value to be included in the SAL of the Statement of Assets and Liabilities?
Your Honor, if you will recall, during the prosecution's evidence in chief,
Yes.
the testimony was that there was no formal acceptance of the delivery and that the documents of
All
the
right,
developer will
correct,
show.
Correct.
Yes.
But there was already a value transferred to the seller.
But that value was under dispute because of the defects, Your Honor.
Precisely. But did not the Mrs. Corona pay money for the unit?
Yes, and she was
Why did
asking
you-
for it back, Your Honor.
Why did you not report that in your SAL and as a collectible?
Your Honor, because they wanted the money returned. The unit was
Precisely.
defective.
In other words, you considered that there was no transaction so that
Yes, Your Honor.
the developer owes you money.
That is precisely
That's
correct,
just an
Your Honor.
asset.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, proceed.
So, Mr. Lim, do you know if there were any dues collected from or demanded from Mrs. Corona before 2009?
I don't have an idea, sir, because I just started to be a property manager of the Columns Ayala Avenue since 2010.
I see. And yet you have access to the records of the corporation.
Yes, Your Honor.
By the way, Mr. Lim, did you present Mrs. Corona with a statement of account for the 112,000 that was the subject of your demand letter earlier?
I remember, sir, this was attached from the final demand letter sent by our corporate secretary.
Yes, in fact, it is my mistake. I'm showing you now. Just to complete the documentation, Your Honor, the statement of account, that was the basis for the demand letter.
That is not the one, sir.
What? Yes. Can you
Same,
please?
same manifestation, Your Honor. The document presented is a photocopy.
Wait. There you go. Sorry, I brought the wrong one. Yeah. Is this the statement of account? A photocopy of the statement of account?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. May we request that the statement of account be marked as, sorry. No, 196? Yes, 196A. Yeah, or unless it was marked differently. No? 196A, because this is attached to the letter, yes.
That's why you want 195.
Yeah, 195A.
Counsel, until
Yes, Your
now,
Honor.
Until now, this court cannot understand your line of questioning. The question is, there is a value involved here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was that included in the SALN of the Chief Justice?
Yes, Your Honor, it was.
It was included?
Yes.
In what way?
It was included later, Your Honor.
No,
Then-
no, at the time,
Oh, it was declared. At the time, there was no mention of the
at the time
columns.
of the acquisition, at
When-
the time of the payment.
Your Honor, the payment was made in installments. And then the title was transferred. But the transfer of the title, if I recall, 2004 or 2005. If I recall correctly, Your Honor, the property was not formally accepted until this time when...
But was the installment payment completed?
yes, Your Honor.
At that time, but it was not accepted.
To the best of my knowledge, yes, that is the way it happened, Your Honor. Not accepted by the buyer, Your Honor.
When was the completion of the installment?
At around that time when the title was transferred, Your Honor.
But that's already a value, fully pay. That ought to be reflected in the SAL-N.
But that is also a defective sale, Your Honor.
It doesn't matter. There is a value. Then, if the owner wanted to rescind the contract, he could have entered it as a receivable.
That is what happened in the interregnum, Your Honor. There was a dispute.
Anyway, proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. President,
Senator Osmeña.
may I just have be clarified on a couple of points. First, some questions to the prosecution counsel. The sale for the columns took place on what year, sir? What year?
2004, Your Honor.
October 2004. And the declaration of the purchase and the acceptance of the columns as an asset occurred on what year?
It was declared in 2010.
So there was 10 years.
6 years, Your Honor.
6 years, I'm sorry. 6 years that lapsed between the time that he closed the sale and the time he declared it in his SLAN.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. How was the sale effectuated? Was this a cash sale? Was it a deferred payment sale? Was it financed by a bank? The developer finance?
Do you have it? Your Honor, I'm not too sure about the terms. All I have before me is the contract to sell, which is dated January 2004, and a deed of absolute sale dated October 2004. So it's a
And
transaction spanning less than a year.
And the price was 3.168,
3.588, Your Honor.
3.588.
Yes.
All right. Maybe I'll ask the defense counsel, how was the sale pay, how was the columns paid for?
Your Honor, the only thing I have in my possession right now is a deed of absolute sale, but I suspect that this was also in
No, do not
installments.
suspect. You're supposed to know, and I presume you're not telling us the truth.
Well,
Did he
Your
pay
Honor,
cash? I'm asking you, did he pay cash?
I'm not informed, Your Honor. That would have been between the buyer and the developer. I do
So-
have the deed of sale and confirm that the price
So you're
was
blissfully
3.5.
ignorant. Will you tell us tomorrow
Yes,
whether
Your
he
Honor.
paid cash?
Definitely.
All right. Mr. Lim, do you know if cash was paid? Were you already with Ayala Corp?
I don't have an idea.
No
Your
one
Honor.
says. All right. Anyway, some value was
Your Honor,
exchanged before it.
If
Yes.
I may. I've just been informed that this was acquired on a deferred payment basis.
Yes, so how much down was paid?
Can you get the terms?
We'd like to know the payments
That will
were
have
made.
to wait until tomorrow, Your Honor, but I will provide you
Yes,
with those details.
Senator Ping Lacson might have some
With
information.
the permission of Senator Osmeña, I have here the records. The deed of absolute sale was executed on October 1, 2004. The condominium certificate of title was issued in the name of Cristina Corona, married to Renato Corona, on November 3, 2004. So as of November 3, 2004, the Coronas already own the condominium unit. Is that correct?
Your Honor, the Coronas were already the registered owners
That is
of the
correct.
condominium
As of
unit.
November 3, 2004.
That is right, Your Honor.
That's it.
Yes, but we are trying to find out how the Coronas paid for this. Obviously, if title transferred to them in November 2004, as far as the developer is concerned, and in this case, Ayala Land, I think. Am I correct, Mr. Lim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ayala Land was fully paid. It might have been financed through a bank loan. Would the prosecution be able to find out how this was paid by inquiring of Ayala Land?
We will try, Your Honor.
No, don't try. Get the information.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, may I
Now,
also...
Obviously, some value was paid, and this was not 100% financed. Is that correct, Mr. Lim? There's usually a down payment when...
I don't have an idea for that, sir. That is for sales.
So we'd like to have that information tomorrow, because I think the Senate President is correct. There was value that was expended in 2004, and it was not reflected in his SALN. And it is totally irrelevant whether he accepted the unit or not. Title and transferred, there's value, and if he does not want to take acceptance of that, he could have recorded as an accounts receivable from Ayala Land. But it cannot be zero. So there's falsification there, and for it to last all the way up to 2010 is absolutely ridiculous. So therefore, we expect tomorrow, Mr. President, the information from Ayala Land. Thank you very much.
Okay, so order. Proceed. Senator Gingona.
Yes, Mr. President. I just want to be clear on the letter, Mr. Defense Counsel. It seems that Mrs. Corona was just asking for a waiver of interest and penalties. Am I correct?
That is right, Your Honor.
And nowhere in the letter did she categorically say that she refuses to accept the unit.
That is the subject of a different series of letters, Your Honor.
In the letter, does she state that she refuses to accept?
In this letter, Your Honor, she says that she has been asking for a re-inspection of the unit.
So she does not categorically state that she refuses to accept?
Well, not in those words, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, proceed, Counsel. Senator Lacson.
Even if the Chief Justice did not declare the property in his 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, and 2009 SALNs,
Yes.
he corrected it in 2010.
Well,
So there was no intention to hide it.
Your Honor, yes, you could view it that way, but we will try to establish that he entered it in 2010 because at that point the issues regarding
That is my
were settled.
point.
Yes.
He had no intention to hide
Yes,
the property.
yes, that is
and
true, Your
therefore,
Honor.
even without this impeachment trial, he already corrected
Yes, Your Honor.
in his subsequently, in his 2010 SALN.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you arguing with me?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Not at all. Thank you. Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Proceed.
Sir?
Senator Dillon.
Yes. Mr. Witness, is it correct to state that you charge association dues only to the owners of the unit?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there was mention in the course of your testimony that Mrs. Corona had a lot of complaints about the unit.
I just got an idea for the complaint, sir, when she wrote the letter.
So you had no personal knowledge of this complaint?
I don't have any idea, Your Honor.
Now, when she complained about the condition of the unit, is that correct?
Based on the letter, sir, she stated it, Your
Yes.
Honor.
And I assume she had access to the unit.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Did she have a key to the unit?
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you know when the key was delivered?
For that, sir, I don't have an idea.
Would you, who in Ayala Land would know this, or the developer?
Basically, sir, we in Ayala Land, Alveo have a quality control team who, these are the team who are in front of the unit owner. They inspect the unit before turnover. And then they are the ones also giving the keys and signing the acceptance forms.
Now, who in Ayala Land would know this?
Basically, sir, this handles by Alveo, the developer itself, and CRU, Clients Relations Unit.
Oh, the names, please.
Miss Carmina Cruz, Your Honor.
And would, since you could not testify of your own knowledge, can you ask them instead of our requiring these people to come around, unless the prosecution would object? We can take your word on the delivery, unless you want to bring along the person who brought the key and gave the key to Mrs. Corona. Are you willing to do that?
If I may, Your
yes,
Honor.
yes.
We have subpoenaed or requested for a subpoena of the developer to come and send a representative.
Particularly on the person who delivered the key?
That will the issue of delivery will be central in that presentation.
That's
Your
right.
Honor.
Just a factual testimony as to when the key was delivered.
Yes, Your Honor. I am sure that the witness we subpoenaed will be in a better position to respond.
Now, I am looking at Exhibit NNN3. There was this document is marked in evidence. This is the contract to sell, marked in evidence on January 24, 2012, and accepted by this court as evidence for the prosecution. This is the contract to sell. On Annex 3 of this contract to sell, this pertains to the columns, and there is a deposit here of $25,000 made on January 29, 2003, a down payment of $543,181.82 on March 28, 2003. There is also a delivery date of the unit indicated June 2006, and across that is a signature of Cristina R. Corona. Would you know if this is the actual delivery date, Mr. Witness?
I don't have an idea for that, Your Honor. That is already for sales. The one who handled that is sales, sir. Sales of Ayala Land, sir.
You are not involved in
No,
that?
Your Honor.
Okay. So, on what date did Mrs. Corona agree to pay the dues? Effective what date?
Basically, sir, we charge it third quarter of 2009, going up to date. I just don't have an idea, sir, because I was assigned as a property manager starting 2010 already. So basically, I also don't have an idea when is the exact acceptance date. But based on our records, we charge the association dues starting third quarter of 2009.
And she paid association dues effective the third quarter of 2009.
Based on our records, yes, Your Honor.
But you were charging her association dues long before that.
I don't have an idea for that, sir, and we don't have records of it, Your Honor.
You do not have records for that, or you just do not know of your own personal knowledge, Mr.
I just don't know, Your Honor.
Of your personal knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would I assume counsel would present that kind of evidence with the proper witnesses?
Your Honor, I think there is a misapprehension that must be clarified first. The columns did not exist even in 2004, Your Honor. This was a pre-selling agreement. It came into agreement much later, Your Honor. That is why there were no dues being collected until many years later.
Yes,
Now,
in fact, it is a contract to sell.
that is right, Your Honor. Now, with respect to the acceptance of the keys, I can tell you tentatively that it was no sooner then late 2009 or early 2010. I will endeavor to find the...
You're not testifying of your
No,
own
Your
knowledge,
Honor, no, I'm just
Mr. Witness, no?
relaying
So-
information that I received, Your Honor.
That is not evidence here,
I'm
Mr.
just trying to assist
Mr.
you, Your
Counsel.
Honor.
Yeah, I don't need your assistance.
Thank
Mr.
you, Your
Counsel.
Honor. Seems not.
So, yeah, we will wait for the witnesses to be presented, and we will ask the questions, Mr. President.
When was the building finished, constructed and finished?
Based on our records, sir, there are 3 towers in the columns. 2006 for Tower 1, 2007 for Tower 2, and 2008 for Tower 3.
When was the unit of Mrs. Corona?
In Tower 1, Your Honor.
Tower 1, the first one.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was finished when?
Based on our records, it's 2006, Your Honor.
All right.
Senator Pimentel, Mr. President.
Senator Pimentel.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the Defense Counsel,
Yes, sir.
did I hear you correctly earlier that you stated that Mrs. Corona wanted her money back?
Well, yes, in effect, Your Honor.
Did she take steps? Did she write a demand letter or even file a case?
There were an exchange of letters, but my recollection is that there was a reluctance on their part to file a case, Your Honor.
What do you call this action? What's the technical name for this kind of action?
Cancellation or rescission, Your Honor.
Decision, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Governed. Do you still remember the article in the Civil Code? So
I'm afraid you might have me at a disadvantage, Your Honor.
now, anyway, just for the
1191.
for the benefit of the 11
I think so, Your Honor.
or 1151, no?
Somewhere there.
Someday in the Civil Code. So the only action taken by Mrs. Corona was to write a letter. Did you present the letter?
Not yet, Your Honor. The letter to
No, you
to
asking
them.
asking for the return of the amounts that she has paid for
There
the
is a
unit.
different witness for that exchange, Your Honor.
And you will do it. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good, Counsel.
I have concluded my direct presentation, my direct examination, Your
All
Honor.
right, Cross.
May we conduct cross-examination tomorrow, Your Honor? We don't have copies of the documents.
We have
presented.
no objection, Your
All
Honor.
right. This witness is discharged. You come
Mr.
back.
President.
Senator Smenya.
Thank you. Mr. President, may I direct some questions at the witness himself?
Yes.
Mr. Lim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Lim, just to refresh our memory, there are 3 towers in the columns.
Yes, Your Honor.
The first one was finished and occupancy started in 06.
2006, yes, Your Honor.
The second one in 07.
07,
And the third one in 08.
08, Your Honor.
And the unit that was purchased by Mrs. Corona was in the first, second, or third
In
tower?
the first, Your Honor.
In 06.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, you were hired just recently.
Yes, Your Honor.
You belong to a company that is a property management company.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that property management company owned by Ayala?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. This is subsidy of Ayala Land Inc.
All right. Now, you're familiar with the condominium law.
Yes, Your Honor.
Essentially, what a person buys is air. Aire, between the 4 walls, the ceiling, and the floor. Do you know that?
Can you repeat the question, Your Honor? Can you repeat the question, Your Honor?
You know that a unit owner in a condominium building is actually only buying the air which his unit is supposed to occupy.
Yes, Your Honor.
The common areas, the ceilings, the walls, the floors, the pipes, the electric, the corridors, they're all owned by the condominium corporation, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And that is what they call commonly owned areas.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that is what you are responsible for.
Yes, Your Honor.
All
That's
right.
exactly.
All right. Now, so when a tenant complains about an undersized electrical wire, that would be the fault of the developer.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And would these wires be any different from the wires in the other units of the building, or wouldn't they all be the same sizes?
It depends on the unit size, Your Honor. But
You mean
basically, it's
the
similar.
bigger the unit, the heavier the wire?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So therefore, were there complaints from any other unit owners in the building about the size of the electrical wires?
There are seldom, Your Honor. On my tenure, there are about less than 10, Your Honor.
Who complained about the size of the electrical wires?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were these corrected by the developer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And did you correct also the complaint and attend to the complaint of Mrs. Corona about the undersized electrical wires?
For that, Your Honor, I don't have an idea because maybe that
So
is
we
already-
shall ask the
Yes, Your Honor.
Ayala Corporation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, the unit of Mrs. Corona is on 31st floor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that the top floor?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, that's the second penthouse she buys in the area. And she had a leaking roof. Did she complain about the leaking roof? I just heard earlier that
Actually, sir, I don't have an idea for that. When she wrote the letter, that's the time I have an idea. But basically, the upper floor of Mrs. Corona is a roof deck already. Your Honor.
was what?
It's a roof deck already, roof deck.
Yes, it's a roof deck. That's why she complained of a leaking roof.
Yes, Your Honor, but I don't have an idea for that because I don't see it personally.
So you don't know if it's actually repaired.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll check with the developer. Now, the billing of 112,000. Ano po? What did that cover? Did that cover 12 months of condominium fees, 6 months, 2 years? Anong breakdown po ng 112,000?
The breakdown of that, sir, is from third quarter of 2009 to first quarter of 2011.
So
approximately
third quarter
1
of
year
2009
1 year and a half, Your Honor.
to first quarter
of 2011.
2011. So that's about 6 quarters.
Yes, Your Honor.
Huh? 3, 4, 7 quarters. Am I correct?
3, 4. Yes, Your Honor. 7 quarters.
7 quarters. At how much per quarter?
Approximately 15,000, Your Honor.
15,000 per quarter. Thank you very much, Mr. President. We'll wait for the, we
right.
hope that the prosecution or the defense can invite the
No,
developer on their land tomorrow.
The prosecution wants the cross-examination to be started tomorrow.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
But may we have Senator Marcos first, Mr. President,
the
before
gentleman
we
from
dismiss.
Ilocos
Thank you,
Norte.
Mr. President. I'd like to direct just some very simple questions to the witness. The dates are very important, Mr. Lim, which years, etc. Am I correct in understanding that 2003, the pre-selling for the columns began?
I don't have an idea for that, sir. That is for sales already.
That's so you do not, you cannot, okay. Well then, we'll just, Tower 1, where the Unit 31B, which was bought by Cristina Corona, was completed in 2006.
I don't have an idea also
But
for
I
that,
think
sir.
you did you not testify to that earlier on? That it was completed in 2006?
The whole building itself, sir, Your Honor, 2006.
Yung Tower 1, where Unit 31B is located, is 31B...
2006, Your Honor.
2006
The whole
was-
building itself, Your Honor.
So the entire project was finished in 2006?
The Tower 1, Your
The
Your
Tower
Honor.
1, where the Unit 31B is located?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. So but the first the duties the duties that were being charged were first charged in 2009. Is that correct? The dues the condominium dues. The first time they were charged to Mrs. Corona were in 2009.
Yes, Your Honor.
why is there a 3-year interregnum between the time that the unit was finished? I would presume when you say finished, it's ready to be moved into, and since they already had the contract to buy the unit. Why did they not start? Why did the management corporation not start charging condominium dues in 2006 when the unit was completed?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I don't have an idea for that. But basically, maybe there's a complaint. Mrs. Corona has a complaint with the developer itself. Maybe that is the reason why.
What other possible reasons could there be for that 3-year delay between the time that the unit was completed and dues were starting to be charged or demanded by the management corporation of Mrs. Corona?
Basically, sir, on our records only, we started billing 2009. For that, sir, I don't have an idea already.
Very well. Perhaps the defense can help us out here because that is a critical, I think that is a critical period, the 3-year period, and it will give us a better indication as to whether or not, or when, what year that...
As I understand it, Your Honor, as I understand it, Your Honor, the obligation to pay dues commences from the time that you are recognized as the owner of the unit. Before that time, it is whomever the owner of the unit is that pays dues to the condominium corporation. As you know, membership in the corporation is premised on ownership of the unit. Without that nexus, there is no obligation to pay dues.
Very well. So what the implication that is being made, at least by the Defense Counsel, was that the management corporation did not, in fact, recognize Mrs. Corona as the owner. Is that
that is the implication I'm trying to draw?
And Mr. Lim, the reason that you cite for that non-recognition until 2009 of Mrs. Corona as the owner, that came about because there were still complaints and deficiencies being pointed out by the prospective owner.
I'm not so sure for that, Your Honor, but maybe that is the reason, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, very, very well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, Senator Pia Cayetano, please.
The gentlelady from Lagtagi.
Mr. President, I direct my question to the witness. Just a follow-through on the line of question also of Senator Marcos. So this particular condominium project was completed sometime in 2006.
Yes, Your Honor, for
Okay.
Tower 1.
Tower 1. And the procedure is for the developer to inform you as project manager that you should start billing the various owners of individual units. Is that how the billing for the condominium dues works?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So sometime in 2006, you started sending out billings to different condominium unit owners, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that is the procedure.
And so at different periods of time, you would be informed by the developer, something like somebody already purchased this unit, then you can start billing this other unit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you did not receive such instructions from the developer until 2009. For the particular unit we are discussing, the one owned by Mrs. Corona.
I just want to clarify, Your Honor. I started working in columns starting 2010.
Correct.
Yes.
But what does your record show?
2009, Your Honor. Third quarter.
That sometime in 2009, you as project manager started billing them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which means you got some kind of information or direction from the developer that start billing this unit because the owner there is already an owner, something to that effect.
Something to that. Yes, Your Honor.
And so henceforth, that was the first time from your records that you started billing.
Yes, Your Honor. Third quarter of 2009, Your
And
Honor.
prior to that, you were testifying earlier, if I remember accurately, that you as project manager, you do not know personally, nor do you have records as to what the status is before 2009 when the billing for condominium dues first started.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. President, yes, in the light of the fact that the prosecution panel will cross-examine tomorrow, we may excuse the witness temporarily, Mr.
All right.
President.
The witness is excused and ordered to return tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mr. President, perhaps we may continue with the other witnesses tomorrow.
May it please the court,
defense.
Mr. President, with your permission, we would like to rest for the day and present our other witnesses tomorrow.
All right. The majority floor leader.
Mr. President, last March 15, 2012, Counsel for Chief Justice Renato Corona filed a motion asking the House of Representatives, or that House of Representatives Majority Floor Leader Neftali Gonzalez Jr. be directed to show cause why he should not be cited for contempt, and thereafter, if the evidence warrants, to declare Representative Gonzalez guilty of contempt of court. Mr. President, I move that the presiding officer rule on the motion.
In accordance with the decision of the caucus this noon on this matter, the motion of the defense is denied. That's the ruling of this court.
Thank you, Mr. President. May we ask the Sergeant at Arms to make an announcement?
Sergeant at Arms will now make the announcement.
Please all rise. All persons are commanded to remain in their places until the Senate President and the Senators have left the session hall.
Mr. President, there being no other business for the day, I move that we adjourn until 2 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, March 20, 2012.
Any objection? Hearing none, the trial is hereby adjourned until 2 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, March 20, 2012.